Hello, Aries. It's time for February 2021. What to keep in mind, what to consider. I am Michele B, and I create tarot readings for passionate women and feminine individuals who want to live a life of exciting purpose, abundant prosperity, and wonderful romantic love with yourself and in connection with someone else if that's what you desire. And when I do these readings, the first thing I like to look at is what to embrace and what to surrender or leave behind going forward into the month of February. And then I look at those three aspects that I call the triad of awesomeness. It is purpose, prosperity, and love. How can we, my camera's wanting to fade in and out because I'm like, blip, 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 blip. Anyway, how we can level up in those ways, what we can acknowledge to do better for ourselves, because there's always learning and growing to do no matter what, right? So Aries, let's go ahead and get started. Oh yeah, and I do want to mention that the initial part, hello, something to focus on. The initial part of the video is just going to be like a quick overview of those three aspects, and then I will go in deeper, in depth in the comprehensive video, the comprehensive follow-up video that you can find a link for in the description box below. So I already shuffled, but now I'm just going to see what comes up for Aries for February, for what to embrace and what to leave behind. What to embrace for Aries. For Aries for February. What does Aries need to embrace? Embrace the idea that Five of Pentacles is about understanding that there is no such thing as scarcity. There is always more than enough for us. When we have this upright, it's a clear affirmation. The Five of Pentacles upright is a clear affirmation. I embrace the idea that there is always abundance for me. I am always able, no matter what my physical condition, no matter what it looks like, no matter what my prosperity looks like, at the present moment, I am always able to create and bring in more. So we'll put that over there. And now, Aries, let's look at what to leave behind. And we'll see how those two work together in understanding what to embrace and what to leave behind. For Aries, what to leave behind. I almost wanted to take that top one, but didn't quite want to be there. This one, it's this one. Okay, what to leave behind is the imbalance between the masculine and the feminine. So with these two being together, I feel this energy. This energy, the cards are trying to remind you about acknowledging the energy that you have to push and strive because you don't have enough. This is what I call manic manifestation. I'm not the only one who calls it that. Gabby Bernstein is the first person that I heard mention that term. But it's that fear-based manifestation. I'm running around like a chicken with my head cut off because I might go poor. If I work harder, that means I'll get more. That's not actually the case. You do not have to work harder to bring in more. It's really the opposite. You just work smarter, with more intention, in order to bring in more. You see that it's the imbalance between the masculine and the feminine here? It's like the masculine's in overdrive and the feminine doesn't realize what their capabilities are. So this is what we need to keep in mind going forward in February. And now let's look at those three aspects, my favorite three aspects of the triad of awesomeness. Purpose, prosperity. Whoa, already one card wanted to come out for purpose. What is it? And we'll see how these concepts of what to embrace and what to surrender, how they feed into the triad of awesomeness. So that Queen of Pentacles is here, just like I was talking about before. The cards want to point out that the feminine is the receiver. The Queen of Pentacles is the archetypal personality of Virgo. It's also, like, to go in deeper, it doesn't have to say Virgo. It doesn't have to be Virgo, but it's the positive energy is being the receiver of the abundance and turning the abundance into something even better. So there's that big reminder for Aries for their purpose, is that you take the abundance that other people have brought in and given to you, and you turn it into something even better. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. We remind ourselves, we don't have to be the ones that do everything from scratch. We can take something and with intention, with our cleverness, with our attention and intention, we can turn something that doesn't seem like much into something that's so much more powerful. That suits other people's needs. We're looking at fulfilling what people need in your purpose. Some of you Aries already know what your purpose is. You already have a very clear idea of where you should be, what you should be doing, how you present yourself into the world, what your lifestyle goals are, like how you see yourself in 10 years, right? Some of you Aries already know that, and some of you don't. Some of you need a little bit of a guide. So for those of you who do know your purpose, you're being reminded as you're going forward, don't be in the masculine thinking that you have to do everything all by yourself from scratch. And, putting in those 80-hour work weeks, working, and not really just like the Aries are slamming their heads into things to make it happen. We need to turn our attention much more passively, much more intentionally. And the Queen of Pentacles has no problem with asking for what they need. Do you ask, for those of you who know what you want, do you ask for what you need? Or do you think you have to do it all by yourself? Remember that, Aries. Also, for those of you who don't know what your purpose is and you're still waiting to hear that clear, direct message, this is coming. The clear, direct message comes from the divine, from Source, from the universe, from God. And the Queen of Pentacles is the receiver of the information. She hears the divine guidance and then she acts. She doesn't act until she receives the inspirational guidance. I'm going to leave that in reverse, the way that it was presented to me. And I'm going to come over here and I'm going to clarify a little bit, talk just a tiny bit, but mostly it's just to give us a little sneak peek into what's going to be coming in for the comprehensive with regards to Aries' purpose in life. What they would do, what Aries would do with themselves if they were already rich. Because I'm like, being wealthy, having all the material things that you could possibly want, that's one thing, right? But once you already have that accomplished, then what are you going to do? Your life's not over. It's not like that's the pinnacle. No, the pinnacle is your legacy, how you present yourself into the world, what you're doing for everyone else. Let's find out what Aries needs to know. Come on now. I want that one. The moon. Yeah, so for those of you who are not aware of what your purpose is or unclear, I think intuitively we all know what our life purpose is, but we don't believe it. It seems like an illusion. It's just something that's just kind of haunting us in the dark in our dreams that we want, but we have no idea how to get there. And sometimes we feel like even like a little bit of a fool for dreaming it, because like realistically it can't happen. The cards want to remind you that what your dreams are not an illusion. They're the actual reality. And you might actually be, when you're telling yourself it can't come true, there's a pretty good chance that you are deluding yourself, that your dreams can't come true. Delude yourself into the I want this one, but I want to say, just finish with deluding yourself into the illusion that there are only certain things that are possible for you. That's the fantasy right there. Your real potential is the reality. The Three of Cups also wanted to come up for the comprehensive. And this is talking about having, like, being deep in your feminine energy and having fun and celebrating. I want to tilt this camera just a little bit. There we go. Having fun. No, I don't like that either. Having fun and celebrating in the feminine way. It's trying to say that instead of butting your head into things and thinking you have to do it all by yourself, why don't you consider collaborating with the sisters? And you see how these ladies are having a good time together and supporting each other? I think you know how to have a good time, Aries. Maybe you've forgotten about that. You've forgotten that real inspiration comes from fun. Very lovely. You know what I'm going to do? I'm wondering if I turn off this light, if that's going to cut back. No, it's not going to cut back on the glare. So I apologize for the glare here, Aries. I'm going to see in the comprehensive reading if I can do something about that. Hopefully it's not too bad. Okay, so that's that for purpose, and we'll see how that dovetails into the rest of it as we're going through the other two aspects of life that I like to focus on. The next one would be your prosperity and your abundance, your good health, your resources, the things, the tangible things around you. How do we make sure that we have the abundance of all the things we need and desire? Two cards wanted to come up. So two things to consider. One thing to consider is the Knight of Swords, which is like this energy that comes roaring and tearing in, and it's got something to say. And the other energy is the Four of Cups, which is like, it's really my stinker card. This person's kind of being a stinker and not realizing what they have, what they already have. So there is a message from the tarot. My intuitive download that's connected with this message is, remember what you have as you're considering what more you would like. First, be fully clear on what it is that you already have and nurture it and take care of it and love it. The one intuitive download that I'm getting from these two being together is referring specifically to Aries that have families, that have companions, that have co-workers, that they're unsatisfied with the input of the people around them. They're thinking you're not doing enough to the people around them. Let's get a really clear view on what is their responsibility and what is your responsibility, and how much you should take personally out of what their responsibility is. For particular Aries that need to hear this, specifically for Aries that have employees that are not living up to their potential, and you have told them, you've used your communication skills to tell them in a queenly manner, not compliant, not defiant, a gracious, queenly, responsible, adult manner. You've told them what your expectations are, and they're still not fulfilling their role, then Aries needs to consider letting those go. It also goes for adult children that are not living up to their potential. Aries needs to communicate clearly and respectfully what their expectations are, and let them know what the repercussions are and what your boundaries are in regards to their behaviors and their, let's say, lack of living up to what your expectations are. That's only for specific Aries that need to know it. But in general, there is no harm in counting your blessings. There is no harm in going through and assessing what nobody else can be you, Aries. Nobody else has your energy. Nobody else has your fire and your drive. So the expectations should run accordingly. Just because other people may not be as passionate about certain things as you are, doesn't mean that there's something wrong with them. Everyone has their way to contribute, and your abundance is directly correlated with the amount of gratitude that you have for the things that you have. So if you need to make sure and get out your gratitude journal and write down, the people in my life do this, 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 and this, because sometimes it's hard for us to remember when we're in the moment. We have a little disappointment, and then we go to sleep at night thinking, I wish they would have done more. I wish that I wish I could have this and this and this. And then you get into scarcity. You see that scarcity that's up there? There's the connection, the scarcity that happens when we don't have an attitude of gratitude. So I'm not blaming you. I'm not saying you're a bad person, Aries. I'm just saying your abundance is directly correlated to your gratitude for what you already have. More abundance will come in if you're grateful for what you already have. And if there's something, here comes my train friend. Toot, toot, toot. Do your thing, train. Okie doke. Now I get to go on. If there's anything, so repeating myself here, you have gratitude for the things that you have that you want to keep. For the things that you have that are not serving you anymore, that goes for people and resources, find another place for them. They do not belong in your life. If they don't work and they're annoying you, that's blocking your abundance. Remember this. Let's just grab a couple of cards for further clarification for the comprehensive, to look a little bit deeper. That one wants to come out. Please, one more. We've got the Knight of Cups that's coming in. This is a good omen for February. And we've got the King of Wands. I feel like this is Aries in their managerial mode. So there is some kind of lack of inspiration when it comes to the guidance that you give other people around you. So we're gonna talk about that. That Knight of Cups is really, really good. I want to find out what that's all about, but we're gonna hold out for the comprehensive for that. Good advice anyway. In the meantime, what needed to be said was said. So for love, in that triad of awesomeness I'm talking about, what have we got here? Temperance. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Temperance is all about healing from painful past experiences and having a rebirth as you alchemize the pain and suffering that you experienced in the past, and finding balance. By alchemizing, I mean turning the pain into love. And as you turn that imbalance of masculine and feminine, this what to release, what to leave behind, what to surrender, with the Two of Cups being here, it's like, if some of you Aries are recovering from a breakup and it's still weighing very heavily on your mind, it's that all of that pain, grief, resentment, it's going to bleed into all aspects of your life, not just your love life. It will prevent you from being able to find another companion for those of you who are single and recovering. But it's also going to bleed, that pain is going to bleed into your purpose. It's going to bleed into your prosperity. You see that person? They're like, I don't want to think about money right now. I just want to be sad, right? I don't want to think about money right now. I just want to tell that person what a jerk they were to me. So, yeah, all of that bleeds over into your prosperity and makes you feel like life is full of scarcity. There's not enough to go around. There's not enough for me. But there's healing in February. This is a very good symbol. Between that Knight of Cups and the Temperance for February, there's so much healing for you that's going to help you in all of these aspects. That the divine feminine energy of the Temperance is going to put you in such a softer, more receiving place. Let's get a little peek at the comprehensive, because I'm running out of time for Aries here. I definitely wanted that guy. We got the Knight of Wands. So I do have some really interesting wand energy for you with your fiery energy. Yeah, so there was just a little tiny download that was trying to, for those of you who are not going to be going into the comprehensive, I just want to say I get this sense with these two nights, just a little like intuitive download for the future, is that somebody's going to be wanting to come back from the past, and it might have something to do with that Two of Cups energy. Someone might be wanting to come back from the past, and it's going to stoke up some worry about how you should go forward because you were trying to heal and get better. So for those of you who needed to hear that, that's, you got to do you. Ultimately, what should I do? I don't want to watch the comprehensive, but I really want to know what to do. Honey, you got to do you. You got to heal yourself. And if going back to a relationship from the past is going to put you into this resentment mode, you got to stay away from that. Whatever you do going forward, it's got to be out of love and feeling like you're supported by the universe. That night, and for anybody else, I'm going to set that night aside. But for anybody else, whenever I get this Nine of Swords energy, for me, it's the prayer card. In the middle of the night, when you just have these angry thoughts that are spinning around in your head about how much pain you're feeling, especially when it comes to romantic love, putting out a prayer is so comforting and healing. And slowly over time, you start to feel traction in transmuting the pain from hurting you to healing you. So for those of you who are in the process of this healing of the connection, being able to trust masculine energy again, and being able to trust your own feminine to be able to take care of yourself. This is a really good card, and you're really going to acknowledge these thought patterns, these unhealthy tape loops that you've been in regarding romantic love or relationships with other people. And this situation can also go for people that are in committed relationships as well. We're thinking about healing challenging experiences in committed relationships through the power of meditation and prayer and controlling your own thoughts and being grateful for the people that are in your life. So this is where I stop in this segment. For those of you who are interested in the comprehensive reading, the link is in the description box below. It'll take you over to Vimeo where you can finish up the reading. For those of you who aren't going to go any further, I wish you the warmest, happiest February, with so much growth and so much understanding about your own abundance and your own ability to create with no or little to no effort. The worst of the effort is just in controlling your own mind and keeping yourself from acting out of desperation and fear. You're learning how to make yourself only act out of inspiration and love. See you later, Aries. Love you. Mwah.